Alrighty, everybody, welcome to Casual Sports Talk Podcast. NFC East and South, AFC East and South Division. And now we got a man right over here who realizes he does not miss Bill Belichick. Here's Douglas.
Oh, who said that? I will
Doug,
say
I'm
I
glad
like
you didn't
your,
miss him. Because I don't think anyone really
yeah,
misses him besides Patriots fans.
Yes.
yeah. No, I don't miss him. I'm gonna say though, I enjoy the new Bill Belichick a lot more than the old one though. He's a funny guy, man. Funny on the roast. He's living his best life now that he's retired.
Yes. And now we got a man who really still is a part of the CJ Stroud fan club. Here's Chris.
Thank you, Stu. Yeah, I'll definitely honor that, and that's truthful. I'm definitely part of the CJ Stroud fan club for sure.
Yes. So, like I said, we are still in the preseason stocks right over here where we're predicting the teams from the AFC East and South right now. And like I said, we'd be pretty much showing you the rankings right over here from 1 to 5. As always, 1 is trash. Or I like to say your season's over, aka you're getting the number 1 or number 2 overall pick. 2, some bad teams. You're probably going to be 4 to 5. You have 5% shot of making the playoffs, but it's not looking good. It's a tad team up. 3 is basically mostly bad teams. You're beating them up. Tennessee Titans last year. Just saying, that's a good example right over there. The 4 is the mid teams right over there. They're mid. They're not the best. They're not the worst. Number 5 is the football hell versus worst division. You know, teams that probably miss the playoffs but are not good enough to get good draft picks, unfortunately. And then next, we got the rankings of the seasons right over here, which is 6 is going to make the playoffs, but not going to win a game. 7 is winning a playoff game. 8 is making the NFC AFC championship. Number 9, I don't know if we'll have a 9, but we'll think about it when we get to Kansas City, making the Super Bowl. And 10 is guaranteed a Lombardi, which I don't think we're going to give out any 10s. I'm just going to say until the end of the season. That's my prediction. Knock on wood. And now we talked about a lot of teams that we've done. So now we're going to start out with the mighty has fallen. The greatest sadness in everyone's heart. Said no one ever unless you're in the Massachusetts area. The New England Patriots have been pretty bad now since last year. Last year they were pretty bad. They were pretty awful. Mac Jones is now gone. Belichick, after 24 years as a head coach, is now gone. And it's very interesting because I listened to the podcast on the Strong Opinion Sports, and they did a podcast on the New England Patriots, like the fall of the New England Patriots. They did an hour long of what happened, the post-Brady era. And it's kind of interesting. I feel like Belichick was kind of, in what I kind of heard in even interviews, that Belichick was kind of hard on his players. But I feel like it's like when things are going great, I think you kind of ignore the red flags. But when things get bad, then the red flags kind of get up. So, but I digress. After 24 years, the Patriots got a new coach for the first time since 1999. That is crazy to think. It's been that long since the Patriots got a new head coach. So, I'll start with how I feel about the Patriots. This is their rebuilding year. I don't think there's any hope for the Patriots. Last season, we gave them the colossal 1. I mean, their season was bun. And it's going to be interesting how the post-Belichick era is going to be interesting. I mean, the post-Brady era, they've been kind of like mid to, okay, they made the playoffs, but then they lost badly, to mid to, oh my God, this team is awful. So I just don't feel confident. This is a rebuilding year right now for the Patriots. I feel like for right now, I think they're going to get the number 1 overall pick. I'm giving them the 1.
Wow, no kidding, Stu. So what record are you going to put them at? That's crazy. I like it, though. That's a good take.
This is, I mean, it's not that much of a hot take. This is their rebuilding year. There's like, who do they got as quarterback? That's good.
I didn't say a hot take. I said a good take.
Okay, that's at least a good take. I mean, they got to play against the Bengals, which is a loss. Seahawks lost. The Jets lost. 49ers lost. Dolphins lost. Texans loss, Jaguars loss, another Jets loss. They could beat the Titans. They could. Nah, I don't think they can beat the Bears.
So,
They're not going to
Stuart,
beat
you
the.
said I count. You said in the first 8 games they're gonna go 0-8. Okay, wow, that
Yeah,
could be a hot take right there.
I think they could. They're going to probably lose to the Dolphins. Colts could be there. I think they could beat the Cardinals. Bills, they're not going to beat the Bills. They're not going to beat the Chargers, and then maybe they might do it. I'm going to go with the Patriots have been so colossally bad. Where would I put these Patriots right now? The Patriots, I'm thinking they're going to go 17-0. Said no one ever. No, they're going 3-14.
3-14.
That's my prediction. I don't think there's not. How do you be optimistic on these Patriots? And also, I got to say, and then I guess I'll give this up to you, Christopher. Aren't you sad for these poor 3-year-olds? My nephew has never seen Tom Brady or the New England Patriots win a Super Bowl in his lifetime. Aren't you feel sad for him?
Well, I mean, Tom Brady can't be every generation's, king or greatest of all time. So I mean, I don't know who would be the next Tom Brady that's in our generation. Would be Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
Pretty easily, I would say.
Yeah, got to have one person like that for every generation. So let's see. You said Stuart. So you said 3-14 for them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I mean, they definitely do have a tough schedule. That is for sure.
Like, there's not a lot of wins. Like, maybe 3.
If they go 0-8, because the teams you listed in their first 8 games, they could easily go 0-8. That's definitely a strong possibility. I mean, I know they have Drake May as their quarterback. Let's see if I can pull up their other quarterbacks here. I wish they would list by position. Oh, yeah, there we go. All right, here we go.
Well, I will say probably the better Drake than the Drake in Canada. I'm just saying.
Yeah, they have Bailey Zapp or Bailey Zappi as their probably their backup, and Joe Milton. I mean, Drake May out of North Carolina. I mean, he did work in North Carolina, but I mean, is that going to translate to the NFL? I don't know.
Joe Milton's going to be the star there.
Is he? Let's see. Is Joe Milton a rookie as well? I mean, I assume.
Yeah, he was at Michigan and then I think Tennessee.
Oh yeah, a rookie from Tennessee. Yeah, you're right. Running back Ramondre Stevenson. But then after that, Jermichael Hasty. I know he was. Wow, he's a 5th year already. Oh man, then wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster. Man, yeah, it's hard to go anything good on the Patriots this year, and I think Stu put it right in nail on the head or head on the nail, whatever, about possibly getting the #1 pick overall. Yeah, I'd probably put the Patriots. Let's cut to the chase here. I'd probably say a 1.
Ooh, so you agree their season is done. There's no hope for them.
Yeah, I mean, let me look at the other teams that I would feel would be bad this season. Yeah, I guess maybe the Panthers. I'm not sure, but yeah, some team has to finish near the bottom. Record-wise for the Patriots, I'd say probably. I'll go 4-13. I'll give them one more win. The same record.
You gave them more up. All right.
I mean, I can't copy you the entire way here, Stu, because you said 3-14. So
yeah. I mean, there's not a lot of optimism in Patriots land. So Douglas, finish us off. Do you have any optimism on the greatest team that's going to win the Super Bowl this year if this was 2018?
I mean, I don't have optimism, but I also can't give somebody a 1, I don't think, this early in the season. So I'll keep it short and sweet. I'm going to give them a 2 and 4-13.
Oh,
like they have a new coach, like new scheme, new everything. but like they'll probably get some wins there. Hopefully, their new coach pumps them up, and I mean, there's not a lot of hope. They're like you said, the roster rebuilding. Drake May's kind of a raw product, so it's like he's not super NFL ready. He's got stuff to learn, so it'll take him a minute.
Yeah, I definitely do not feel optimistic on the Patriots. I think their season's done. I think honestly, if for the preseason, there is no hope for the Patriots land. Like, how do you feel?
So what's the difference between a 1 and a 2 again? Sorry about that.
You're gonna get the number 1 or number 2 overall pick.
For a 1, and then what's a 2?
You're 2 and you're 3 and 5 in the rankings of getting a pick.
Well, what was it say on our list when you on our slideshow list?
Your season is done. You don't even have like a 2% odds to making the playoffs.
Is that a 1 or a 2?
That's a 1.
All right, then what's 2?
You're 2. You're either 3 and 5, and you have like a 5% odds of making the postseason.
5%. All right, sounds good.
Yes. And now I guess we're going to go to an interesting one. We're going to talk about the Jets, who it's very interesting last year where everyone was hyped up. How's Aaron Rodgers? Is Aaron Rodgers going to be great? Is Aaron Rodgers going to do a Brady and win a Super Bowl for the Jets? And after the 4th snap of a game against Buffalo Bills in week 1, Aaron Rodgers goes down towards Achilles. Mac Jones gets to play. Plays pretty terrible. This team was pretty bad. Then, no, not Mac Jones. Zach Wilson. Sorry. I'm just thinking too much about the Patriots right now. So, Zach Wilson was pretty bad. Then, it gets worse. Then you get Tim Boyles. Thanksgiving. Black Friday. Where Tim Boyles gets a touchdown. 99-yard touchdown for the other team. Oh, Hail Mary for a 99 touchdown.
It was an interception return. Was that before halftime or when was that?
Before halftime, right before halftime. So if I had one play that represented the Jets last season, it was that play where the defense stopped the offense for the Dolphins, and then basically they just collapsed after the second week. They just collapsed after the play, and then that did that. So the defense was good. The offense was bad. We ended up giving the Jets the 3. So, but I guess we'll get to Chris. What is your thoughts on the New York Jets?
Real quick, what did we give the Patriots at the end of the season last year?
1.
A 1? Okay, gotcha. All right, for the Jets here.
We gave them a 3.
For having Aaron Rodgers, one of the better quarterbacks, or one of the best quarterbacks in the league at the moment, for him going out, I don't know what it was, like play 3 or play 4 of the season last year, for them losing their star player, I know they have Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, but their star quarterback, they went 7-10. That's pretty impressive. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is gonna get injured this year. I think he's gonna have an amazing year, especially with Garrett Wilson. So I think Jets, record-wise, they're gonna go. I think they're gonna be running the division up there with the Miami Dolphins. Record-wise, Jets, I'd say 11-6. I would say 12-5, but just in case something happens, I'm gonna say Jets 11-6. They are gonna make the playoffs. So what? The number 6 on the grading scale, is that them winning a playoff game, or is that number 7?
No, 7 is winning the playoff game. 6 is basically making the playoffs.
Oh.
Do you think the Jets are going to win a playoff game? Can they win a postseason game?
I honestly, this year, yeah, the Jets are going to win a playoff game. They're going to be a 7, in my opinion.
Wow. Interestingly enough, and like I said, as of right now, since the Brownies won a playoff game 2 years ago, the Jets are officially the longest team in the NFL to not make it to the postseason. Funny enough. Yeah, funny, interesting facts, gentlemen. So, Douglas, what is your thoughts about the JTX Jets?
I like a lot of Chris's thoughts there. I think that there's a lot of pressure on the coach too. I'm not gonna lie, man. I think this might be a little bit harsh, but I think Robert Sala's been a little bit of a disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's been a lot of like what's the saying? It's a lot of bark and no bite so far. So like I think they gotta actually do something this year. And they said that they're training really hard, like the hardest Aaron Rodgers has done training camp in like almost 10 years. So I I think it's gonna be good. I think they'll gel pretty nicely. I'm a little bit nervous though, because Rodgers has kind of missed like some different events, like he said out of practice today. So I'm hoping that he has chemistry with Mr. Wilson, but I'm gonna go with a 6 and I'll go 10-7 probably. Like I think they'll be a really good team. I think they'll be a playoff team, but I don't know. I think I prefer the Dolphins in this division still.
10-6 right now. Douglas is going to pick for the JETX Jets. Now, this is going to be interesting for me. On the one hand, Rodgers is going to be back, and Rodgers is good. So that's at least the good thing. Granted, he didn't play well in Green Bay. Granted, we can't really talk about last season because, like I said, it was only 4 snaps and that's it. Like preseason, 4 snaps, and that is it.
Well, can you define that well? Like, what were his stats in Green Bay?
I know last year they missed the postseason. The last time they made it, that was the year. I mean, they basically missed the play. They were in like, I think they were like in football hell. Basically, they kind of got out of the playoffs. Technically, it was more of, if I remember correctly, that was when the Lions got eliminated from the playoffs, and it was like that Squid Game movie. I don't know if you watched Squid Game.
No.
Okay, so it's like the lady that took out like her lover, and basically it's like, and the Lions were like, "Oh, we got eliminated from the playoffs. We'll take you down, Green Bay."
Oh yeah.
Yes.
What were Rodgers' actual stats though? Like you said, he had a bad year. Like I'm curious what his actual numbers were.
I don't know
Declared
what
a bad year.
the actual numbers are, but like I said, I mean,
So you're
granted,
only basing this off of Green Bay.
yes, but he does get the weapons
Do
now.
do you think a quarterback is the only reason for a record then? Like the
It's
Cowboys
a
fail
part
in
of
the
the piece.
playoffs, then it's Dak.
It's a part of the piece, if that makes sense. It's an important piece, but it's a part of the piece, if that kind of makes sense.
Well, I know that's why I was trying to figure out his actual numbers too. Declare that he had a bad year.
Yeah, I mean, the
Wait,
team had a
his
bad.
numbers with the Jets or the numbers with Green Bay?
His last year in Green Bay, I'm just curious what a bad year would it be for Aaron Rodgers. I'm more of a curiosity because he's won 4 MVPs. So I'd
Yeah.
just be curious. Like I'd kind of be curious if like a bad year for him would be like an elite year for others, or what the numbers would
Yeah,
look like.
I mean, they basically missed the playoff if the last time. So it's been about 3 years since the last time Rodgers. So they got to play against the 49ers at home. Mind you, that's their first game. That's going to be interesting. I think they're probably going to lose to that. They can beat the Titans. I think they can beat the Patriots, beat the Broncos, Vikings. I think they could beat the Vikings. Bills could, I think they could split against the Bills. Hear me out. I think they can split against the Bills. Steelers is a coin flip. They can beat the Patriots. I don't think they can beat the Texans. They're going to beat the Cardinals. Colts could probably be a coin flip. Seahawks is a coin flip. Dolphins is, I think they might split the Dolphins. Jaguars is a coin flip. I think they'll lose to the Rams, and I think it's a coin flip with the Bills. But I'm trying to think. I think I might just give the Jets a 5 for right now. I just feel like I got to see how it goes. I just don't know. I think this is probably my biggest question mark about all the teams right now is basically the 3 teams I'm very much I just have a question mark are the Bears this season, the Colts. When we get to talk to the Colts, I'm still kind of like, I don't know how they're going to be, and I feel like the Jets with Aaron Rodgers because last year doesn't count in my opinion. Rodgers got hurt, and basically it was the defense. So I think I'll give them the 5, and just because I just don't know at this point. And I don't know if they can make the postseason. Granted, I think they have a much more easier schedule than last year. I think that this is probably a team that could probably make it to that 6, But for right now, I'll probably give him the thing, and I think I'm probably going to give him a 9-8. I think that'll be a 9-8 record for the Jets.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I pulled up Rodgers' stats, and you were right, Stu. I would say it was his worst record as a full-time starter, or his worst stats.
Mm-hmm.
3,700 yards, 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. His worst QB rating of his career, other than his rookie year. So good stuff.
Yes. Yeah, so I guess we'll see how it goes from here. Also, we did lose Christopher since the internet just went down, just like Aaron Rodgers' Achilles. So, like I said, we'll definitely we will see if this is if he comes back to the StreamYard. But like I said, we're gonna go next. Douglas, you're gonna be next. We're gonna talk about the Dolphins. So officially, as of right now, as of this recording right now, the Miami Dolphins are the longest team in the NFL that has not won a playoff game. So the last time they won it was 2000, and they haven't won a playoff game since. Granted,
2000. Wow.
yeah. So since the Lions have won it, now won a playoff game this year, it's now the Dolphins have the reigning champion of not winning a playoff game.
Good for them.
So
Huh.
yeah, there's a lot of clunkers in that Dolphins era, and that's including Nick Saban as a head coach.
Yeah, they've had a weird kind of history because
Yeah, they had
I feel I think of them as a pretty decent team, but they've never actually really won anything, have they?
no. I mean,
They've been
honestly, yeah. The craziest thing is they haven't made it to the Super Bowl since um 1984. The last time it was against the Bears. Oh yeah, we're talking about the Dolphins. Sorry, Chris.
Oh no, that's fine. Yeah, my apologies. I somehow the chat room or whatever, the studio booted me out, and then I couldn't go back in. So I go back to my email and click on the link. So all is well. Here we go. So we're talking about the Dolphins. All right.
Yeah. So like I said, we're gonna start with Douglas. What is your thought? Oh, I guess I should say for last year, I forgot to tell you. So the Dolphins basically made it to the postseason. Unfortunately, they got to play against Green Bay at the coldest temperature ever. Douglas somehow was trying to pick the Dolphins, if I remember correctly, to make it past the Kansas City Chiefs, and boy, you were wrong. Just saying.
Stu, that was the longest intro of my life. You told me to go 4 times. And then you roast me. Unbelievable.
Yes. I have to
Jeez
roast
Louise.
you. I will. You're gonna roast me every time I have terrible picks. Come on. I want it to be roast. You give me my if I have terrible predictions, please roast me. Roast me.
All right, Stu. Well, this will be easy then. Every single year you say it's the Cowboys' year. Stop.
How dare you? We're this is our year. They're a 10 in my heart. Okay. My boys. Okay. But anyway, Douglas.
Yeah.
What's your
I'm
thought?
focused.
What's your thoughts about the Dolphins, and what do you think they're going to be this year?
Well, so did you guys read the thing of Tua calling out his ex-coach, calling him a bad person and stuff?
Oh, so Mike McDaniel?
It was
His ex-coach or his current coach?
his ex-coach, Brian Flores, who I think is in Minnesota now. He called him a horrible person and just a terrible coach, and basically said that Mike McDaniel is having to uncoach a lot of the bad coaching and stuff that this last guy did.
No kidding.
And yeah, it's an interesting read because I don't know, it's kind of an interesting little thing. But so I don't know, but I've always had an issue with Tua. I mean, I thought solid at Alabama, but there was no, I don't know. There's just something about him where I just don't see him as I don't want to say I don't see him as a winner because they win a lot during the regular season, but it's kind of like Dak for me, where it's come on, man, give me a nice playoff performance, do something. We're talking about how explosive your offense is, best offense. You have Tyreek Hill and how do you say that guy's name? Devin Achan, was that his name?
Yeah, Achan, yeah.
And Raheem Moser, all these just studs, man. And I thought they would beat the Chiefs. So I'm like, dude, they have more speed than the Chiefs. I get it's cold, but they just had so much going for them, but like it just wasn't their year.
No, it was
But
not
for
their year. And also it was stunk because I think they got a bad draw because it's like they got to go up to they got to go up to Kansas City, and that was super cold.
well,
And
I mean, they absolutely choked away the division for one. So like they
yeah,
shouldn't have had to do that if they just simply protected their division lead. But
mhm.
they choked the Bills. Like they had like 8 opportunities, and every single time that they had an opportunity, they lost.
Yeah,
So it's like it's nobody's fault but their own. Like they had a big division lead. It looked like the Bills might miss the playoffs. And then they lost the division, so it's like they kind of got what they deserved. Anyways, this is about this year. I'm going on a rant.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so I think this year though they'll have a nice bounce back year. I mean I can't give them anything past a 7, but I'll give them a 7. I think that this year they'll be really explosive. I think they'll go like a nice 12-5, maybe win a playoff game and lose to like the Ravens or something.
Wow,
Ooh,
nice.
so that's an interesting one. So yeah, you're gonna give them the 7. How do I feel about the Miami Dolphins right now? And I'm next, basically. I mean, I feel like that they're still like optimism, but I do feel like, and I think we're going to talk about the Bills and the Dolphins. I feel like this year's a little bit of a downgrade. I know that Tua got paid; he got paid big, but I just don't know how I feel about the Dolphins this year. I think they'll definitely make the postseason. I mean, if I'm looking at their schedule, they're going to play against the Jaguars. I think they can beat the Jaguars. I don't know if they can beat the Bills. Seahawks, I think they can beat them. They can beat the Titans. They're going to beat the Patriots. I think they can beat the Colts. They can beat the Cardinals. I think they'll split against the Bills. I don't think they can beat the Rams. They can beat the Raiders. They're going to beat the Patriots again. Packers, I think they could lose to the Packers and Green Bay. I don't feel confident. Jets could be a split, or I think they could beat them, but I'm not 100%. Texans, I think CJ Stroud's a lot more better than Dolphins, in my opinion. I think CJ Stroud's better than Tua. Um, so I think I'll give that one to the Texans. They're not going to beat the 49ers. Brownies could be a coin flip, and the Jets could be still a coin flip. I feel like I'm going to just probably give them the 6. I feel like maybe this is like the same pain as I feel like as the Dallas Cowboys, in my opinion, where it's just like you do great in the regular season, but can you win a playoff game? I don't think you guys can win a playoff game. I feel like that this is where I feel like the Dolphins are going to be at as of right now. I just do not. I think they might do. I think they could win the division. This is a very easy division, but I just don't feel as confident. And then for the record, oh yeah. So you said Douglas. What would you say for the Dolphins?
I think I said 12-5.
Yeah,
You
he
said
did
12.
say 12-5. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting. 12-5, and then I say I'm gonna go 10-7. I think they're gonna go 10-7, and I think they're just gonna lose a playoff game. So,
All
alrighty.
right.
So
So I lost connection when we were still talking about Aaron Rodgers. Did you guys note that out of every season he's played, every single game, he's thrown for 4,000 yards every single of those seasons, besides twice.
yeah,
So
one of
yeah,
them.
Aaron Rodgers is elite for sure. All right,
Yeah,
back to the
but
Dolphins.
We
like I
did
said,
note
I
it's a
digress.
down year though.
Yeah.
Wait, what would you guys say? I'm sorry, you guys. So talk at the same time a little bit.
We did note that it was the worst statistical year of his professional career where he was a starter though, last year in Green Bay.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Oh, so he might be slipping. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, worst
Second
year
year with
coming
the
off an
Jets.
Achilles injury. We'll see. 41 years old.
But like I
Yeah.
said, I digress. We got to talk about the Dolphins. So, Theodore, what is your thoughts about the Miami Dolphins?
I think this is. I mean, I'm not saying this is their year to make it deep. But I'm gonna put them at a record of. Let's see, Stu, you said 10-7. Doug said 12-5. Didn't they start the season off really hot last year? Doug, is that what you were saying?
Yeah, they started out hot and then they just scram and they just like they almost had the bye week and then they just like collapsed towards the end and then they got to play against Kansas City in the really cold weather and they
Gotcha,
lost.
gotcha. I mean, last year, home record wise, they were 7-2, so that's a really good record. The road, they're 500 at 4-4. I'm gonna put the Dolphins at 12-5.
Okay.
They have the fastest team in the league. I mean, obviously that doesn't mean anything if you don't have the ball, but yeah, make sure that the running backs and wide receivers get those balls. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Devin Ashane, and then what's his name's Mike McDaniels. Is that their coach?
Yes.
Gotcha. So yeah, 12-5. I said the Jets are going to win the playoff game, so I think there's going to be two teams from the AFC East winning a playoff game. This depends on who's going to go further out of those two teams. Like I said the Jets winning a playoff game. Dolphins, I would put them. They're definitely going to win a playoff game. What is number 8 making it to the AFC or the conference championship?
No. Yes. That is making the NFC.
And then 9 is making it to the Super Bowl. Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna put the Dolphins at. Man, I'm gonna go on a limb here and put them at an 8. They're gonna make it to the
what kind of Kool-Aid drinking thing you think the Dolphins, who have never
I don't know about Kool-Aid, but it's called a hot take.
You have Tua, who has never proven anything in the postseason. Look what they've done. They have never. Oh, hell no. No.
All right, so we'll see come January.
You know what? Okay, let's do a $5 bet. I'm gonna say the Dolphins are not gonna win if they make it the postseason, they're not gonna win a playoff game.
$5 bet?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, shake on it. Virtual handshake right there.
We have this recorded.
So if the Dolphins make the playoffs and they win at least one game, I get $5. They miss the playoffs, they make the playoffs but lose, I get $5 as Mr. Stuart Jasper. Gotcha. Deal.
Look at
Deal.
that.
Doug is our witness.
And this recording is our witness right now.
I mean,
Speaking of lines of betting amongst us, do we have any other bets on the season that we've talked about in our podcast, right? Does anyone remember?
Oh yeah, we're gonna do it once we get done with this one. We do like a bet on who's gonna be correct on the postseason. But like I said, we'll do that after.
Okay, but we've never thrown any other bets in the previous podcast. Gotcha. Okay.
No. Yes, but anyway, next we got to talk about the Buffalo Bills, who, oh boy, last season they won a playoff game against the Steelers. This was their all-in year. Unfortunately, their field goal kicker missed the field goal. It went right. Like I said, if you're a Buffalo Bills fan, that is a very much triggering moment. As always, field goal kickers missing clutch games. Just saying, just like the '91 Super Bowl against the Giants.
that was 33 years ago. That '91 Super Bowl.
And then this game against the Kansas City Chiefs, it did the exact same thing. They needed to kick a field goal to win the game, and they blew it. So this was their all-in year. They didn't do it. We gave them the 7 last year. Oh, and also the Dolphins were 6 last year because they made the postseason. The Bills made it because they won a playoff game last season. We ended at 7. But there's a lot of players that are going away. Stephon Diggs, gone. Went to Houston now. They lost all their core. I just don't feel as confident with this Buffalo Bills team now. I think this is going to be, and you still got Josh Allen who got paid. I just don't feel as confident right now. And fortunately, I think I might have to give them the 5. I think this is going to be their bad year, in my opinion. And I feel like for the Bills right over here, they're not going all the way. Bill Mafia is not going to go all the way. And if I had to look at their schedule right now, the Bills, they beat the Cardinals. Dolphins are toss-up. Jaguars, toss-up. They're going to lose to the Ravens. They're going to lose to the Texans. Jets could be a toss-up. Both games. I think they split that. I think they'll beat the Titans. I don't think they can beat the Seahawks. I think it could be a toss-up with the Dolphins. I think they could lose both games. Colts is a toss-up. They're going to lose to the Chiefs, even at Buffalo. They're going to lose to the 49ers, even at Buffalo. They'll lose to the Rams. They'll lose to the Lions. They'll beat the Patriots. They'll tie with the Jets, and then they'll beat the Patriots. So I'm thinking 9-8. I just think this is going to be their down year. I don't think this is going to be their. I mean, they're not making. This is not the Super Bowl team. It's over.
Dang, 9-8. That's not a down year. That's still above 500.
But for a team that literally had a shot at making the Super Bowl and blew it after winning a playoff game, this is a down year.
All right.
So, Chris, what's your thoughts about the Buffalo Bills?
I mean, I agree with the down year part. I think they're going to be worse than 9-8, though. They haven't had a losing season since 2018. Yeah, they lost Stephon Diggs. He's going to, the Tennessee Titans? No,
he's going to the Texans.
Texans. Nice. CJ Stroud fan club right here. Let's go. So the Bills were 11-6 last year. I think the year prior they were 12-5. Let me take a quick look here.
Yeah.
They were 13-3 in 2022, and last year they were 11-6. Yeah, I think it's going to be a down year, but I think they're going to be worse than 9-8. So I'm going to put them at 7-10.
Ooh, so you don't even think they're going to be? So, you're thinking they're going to have a bad year?
Because five is just missing the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
And what's a 4?
4 is like your mid, and 3 is just you're beating up on bad teams.
Yeah, I mean, I said 7-10, so obviously they're not just missing the playoffs. So that means they'd be less than a 5. So I guess a 7-10 team is in that description right there. They'd have to be a 4.
You think they're going to be a 4? You think they're going to be mid? You definitely think this is a perfect definition of the mid team right now?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they'll definitely be better than the Patriots. They won't be, in my opinion, they won't be running in contention of the AFC East champion. So,
yeah. All right, Douglas. Douglas, what's your thoughts about Bills Mafia?
Well, I mean, I think you guys basically said it all. We're all in the same train of thought. I'm just going to split the difference. I'm going to go with the 5 at 8 and 9.
Oh, 8 and 9, but you're going to give them the 5. So you do not feel as confident right now for
I think they'll be one of those teams that we might talk about at playoff time, oh, can they make a run? But realistically, I think they're gonna fall a game or two back there at the end.
Yeah, I just do not feel confident with the Buffalo Bills. I think they're not gonna make the postseason. So, but hey, we'll see how it goes. Maybe I might be wrong, but
none of us think that the Bills are gonna make it. So sorry, Buffalo.
Sorry, Buffalo.
Buffaloes.
No, Buffaloes. Or my joke is Buffalo.
What is that? What was that?
They're lol, it's like
like Buffalo, like LOL. I got you. I didn't hear the L at the end there. I was like, oh.
They're like, whoa. Anyway, next we got the Tennessee Titans, who
switching it to the AFC South.
A team that I feel like it's been meh, but then they were kind of bad. I mean, like I said, I think the Titans were last year's season. I think we gave the Tennessee Titans, and then I'm gonna what did we end with the Tennessee Titans last season? Oh, I believe we gave them a 3. We ended with a 3 as of right now.
All right, so 6-11 team is a 3. Okay, I gotta keep these records in my mind associated with the number that they're given.
So, like I said, I guess also.
I think they last year the reason. Yeah, I think they cost the Dolphins their playoff spot, didn't they? They kind of made that weird comeback against the Dolphins.
Yeah, they had that weird comeback and they blew it. Also, interestingly enough, no more. Oh yeah, King Henry is now gone. He's going to the Ravens now. So you lost King Henry. Your coach got fired. So we'll start with you, Chris. What's your thoughts about the greatest team that can still not win a Super Bowl, the Tennessee Titans?
Oh, let's see. I'm not sure if my camera's frozen, but on my end it's frozen. Nonetheless, let's digress back to the Tennessee Titans. Yeah, last year they finished 6-11. They lost Derrick Henry to the Ravens. Let's see who their running backs are. They have. Oh yeah, they have Tony Pollard from the from your Dallas Cowboys, Stu. They have Tajay Spears as their backup. Let's see, wide receiver. Yeah, they have Tyler Boyd, who used to be with the Bengals. They have DeAndre Hopkins. All right. Oh man. They have Calvin Ridley. Forgot about that guy.
Don't they have DeAndre
What's
Hopkins?
I mean? So
Oh yeah, they
obviously
do.
with the AFC South, you have the Texans, who are more than likely gonna take the division, but then you also have the Colts, who have Anthony Richardson back. So that's going to be tough right there. Those are going to be the top two teams of that division. Tennessee, man, it's this should be a tough division because you also have Trevor Lawrence with the Jaguars. Tennessee, because it's a tough division, yeah, they have Will Levis. He's a second year as their starting quarterback. Backup wise, they have, let's see, Mason Rudolph, who was with the Steelers for a little bit, and then Malik Wills. I would say Tennessee, same record as last year, 6-11.
Okay.
And then if we gave a team at 6-11 and a number 3 on the ranking list, I guess, yeah, keep them at a number 3. Nothing's going to change.
Nothing's going to change in here in the land of Tennessee. So now, Douglas, you are now next. What is your thoughts about the greatest team that's now gone, the Tennessee Titans?
I don't know. Once Chris started talking, I started thinking about what an interesting team they are. Because I think getting rid of King Henry, like they've kind of completely shifted their identity. Because I think they have DeAndre Hopkins and Calvin Ridley, which is like an oddly nice, underappreciated wide receiver duo, I think. Like, that's a pretty freaking nice one, too, if they can both like play to their level. But that being said, they probably have a pretty brutal schedule. I was thinking like a 4 and like a 7-10.
Yeah, that's an interesting pick right there. And then I guess for me, so the Titans, I just don't know if they're going to be good. I think, you know, I'm just feeling like very like, in my opinion, they got to play against. They got to play against the Bears. I don't think they can beat the Bears in Chicago. I don't think they're going to beat the Jets. I don't think they're going to beat the Packers. Dolphins, no. Colts, that's a toss-up. Bills could be a toss-up. They're not going to beat the Lions in Detroit. They're going to beat the Patriots. They're not going to, Chargers could be a toss-up. Vikings is a toss-up. Texans is I think they'll do a double loss in the Texans. They'll beat the Commanders. The Jaguars, it could be a toss-up. I feel like I'm probably agreeing with more Doug if I'm just looking at this. I'm feeling they're definitely a 4, and I hate to do it. I hate to copy you, but I think I kind of agree with Douglas. I think they're going to go 7-10. I just don't feel as
Respect.
yeah, I just don't feel as confident right now with this team right there. So we'll
Yeah,
see how
it'll
it
be
goes.
interesting if their QB can take like a sophomore leap. Because like if he can with those playmakers, you never know. They could surprise a couple of people. But that
Mhm.
schedule is tough. Like having to play the NFC North sucks. Like,
Yeah.
like I would probably pick them, like you said, to lose to Green Bay, Chicago, Detroit. Like it's a pretty tough draw, and they have to play against, the Jets and like a lot of those other the solid teams.
Mm-hmm. And now this is going to be an interesting part. So next we got the Colts, who actually hit expectations a lot higher than we thought. We thought that they were going to be a bad team. There was one point where I gave them the 1. I thought their season was pretty bad.
Mhm.
But Gardner Minshew, as a backup, made it all the way to the end. Just missed it against the Texans and lost that game. But this is going to be interesting.
Isn't
So Gardner Minshew's gone.
is he now the starter for the Raiders?
I think he might be, yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I forgot he was the starter for the Colts last year. That's pretty fun.
Yeah. Gardner Minshew was the starter. So
Hmm.
the previous quarterback, I believe, is the starter right now, as of right now. I totally forgot his name. But I believe he is the starter right now.
Yeah, I think so. Well, Chris just dropped that Anthony Richardson should be back this year. Should be nice.
Yeah, Anthony Richardson's going to be back. So we will see. And I guess we'll start with you, Douglas. What your thoughts about the Colts? And is it going to be an empty chamber or full of revolvers?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. They're a hard team to read too. Like, oh man, I don't know. Like, I'm really torn on this team because I like some of their pieces, but not getting a year of Anthony Richardson to kind of develop is always tough. So, like, I don't think that they're going to quite be in the playoffs as much as I like maybe like a Jonathan Taylor and some of their pieces. I see them as like, I don't know. I see them a little bit better than Tennessee, but not making the playoffs. So I'll give them like an 8, 9, and a 4 as well.
You think they're going to be a 4? Ooh, so you think they're going to have a little bit of a down year?
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't know. I don't see them as like doing anything crazy this year.
Yeah, I feel like for me, I mean, for the Colts, I mean, an 8 and 9, I just don't feel like they're kind of in this weird like mid. I definitely do feel like this is a lot more better team than what our expectations was for last year. I mean, I'm trying to think. So Jonathan Taylor still in the Colts as of right now, or is he gone?
No, he's
Yeah,
on the
he should
Colts.
be.
Yeah.
Okay, he's still in the Colts. Okay, so they did give him
I
a
think they
contract.
got to an extension, didn't they? Yeah, I think they signed a contract.
Yeah, that's at least good. I mean, definitely better than last year when the owner basically said running backs are a dime a dozen. That was pretty bad.
Yeah,
But
it was a.
we're
Do
going to
they
talk
still
about
have
this.
Michael Pittman?
I think they do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice offense. You know, there's some
Sir, when you
weapons
say
there.
a dime a dozen, isn't that pretty good, or is that not a good saying?
That's
A dime
not a
a
good
dozen.
saying. Yeah. Like
Hmm.
it's not that good of a saying. Like, but I feel like for the Colts, this is like the biggest like question mark. I feel like for the Colts, I think I hate to say this, but if I'm looking at their schedule right now, and I'm just like not, I don't know. I just kind of feel like that they're going to play against the Texans. I think that's a lot. I think they might lose doubly to the Texans. They got to play against the Packers at Green Bay. I think that's a loss. Bears is a toss up. Steelers is a toss up. Jaguars, I think they'll split it. I think they could split it against the Titans. They'll lose to the Dolphins. They'll lose probably to the Texans twice. Vikings is a toss up. Bills is a toss up. Jets is a toss up. They'll lose to the Lions. Beat the Patriots. Beat the Broncos. Beat the toss up, and then I think they can beat the Giants, and then they got to play against the Jaguars. So I feel like I'm gonna probably copy Douglas. You might hate me for this. I'm going to 4, and I'm feeling 7 and 10. I just think they're gonna be mid.
Wow.
Respect.
Yeah. So now, Chris, you're up next. What is your thoughts about the Indianapolis Colts?
So I said there's gonna be 2 teams from the AFC East making the playoffs. We haven't talked about the other divisions, but I think the AFC South is going to be another team with 2 teams making it to the playoffs. Is it going to be the Indianapolis Colts? I think it will be the Colts. They're going to make it to the playoffs.
Does that mean you're picking the Jaguars to miss?
Yeah, I would probably say the Jaguars will miss. It'll probably be the Texans and the Colts from the AFC South going into the playoffs. And the reason I say this is you have Joe Flacco. I know he's not the starting quarterback, but just in case, and knock on wood, knock on wood, something happens to Anthony Richardson, you always have Joe Flacco as an amazing backup quarterback.
You have the Flacco fever right now, Chris. You might have a bad case of the Flacco. I'm just saying.
Giving the team the playoffs for the backup quarterback.
If Joe Flacco was still with my Cleveland Brownies over here, I would still have Flacco fever. And I still might have a case of the Flacco fever going on because I just think Colts have Jonathan Taylor. They have Michael Pittman as wide receiver. Anthony Richardson, he's coming back off that injury. So I think they're going to have a great year. They're going to have a good year. I don't want to say great because I'm going to put them at a 6, making the playoffs. They probably won't win the playoff game. Because in case Flacco is their quarterback going to the playoffs, you saw what happened last year. But then Anthony Richardson, if he's a starting quarterback for the playoffs, even better. Record-wise, I'd probably put him at 10-7.
Ooh, so you're the only difference where we just feel a lot more optimistic on the Colts versus us, where I just feel like they're going to be mid.
I mean, you guys don't even have them making the playoffs. Not even close. You go because the 5 is just missing the playoffs. You guys don't even have them at 5. So we are. Yeah, we're pretty much. I don't say opposite ends of the spectrum here, but you guys don't have them doing well at all. I respect your guys' opinions for sure.
Yes. And now we got the Jaguars right over here, Jacksonville Jaguars, who last year basically missed the playoffs, had a bad choke job at game, should have made the postseason, but they really just did a bad job right over there. It was not good right over there. But like I said, Trevor Lawrence got paid. Granted, I think Trevor Lawrence is an okay quarterback, not an elite quarterback. So I guess we'll start out with me. What is my thoughts on the Jacksonville Jaguars? I feel like they could make the postseason. They got most of their players. They're still there. But there's still that possibility. It's okay, so they have made the postseason. They have done well. But like I said, my worry is them can they make it to that postseason? Can they not have a choke job towards the end of the season? And as right now, the Jaguars got played against the Dolphins. That could be a toss up. I don't think they can beat the Brownies. I think they could beat the Bills. Or that could be a toss up. Texans could be a flip. I think they could split that one. I think they could split on the Colts. I think they can beat the Bears. Or that could be also a toss-up. They'll beat the Patriots. I don't think they can beat the Packers. Eagles, I think that could be a toss-up. But I'm more leaning to the Philadelphia. Vikings, I think that the Jaguars are going to win.
Why would that one be a toss-up, Stu?
I don't know. I just have a feeling. I'm just thinking.
There comes the Cowboys hatred right there.
You saying that game's going to be a toss-up?
Yes, but I think
where's that game being played?
At Philly.
Okay, all right.
How dare you?
How dare
you
there, Stu? Yeah,
you're telling me I'm biased, even though this is
Cowboys biased.
I lost my integrity for the Casual Sports Talk podcast. That I should just, you know what? All right, gotta go, guys. Sorry. Anyway, back to the Jaguars. I guess I'll do the podcast without me. I'm bad at.
I mean, not without you, Stu. You're the main guy, but get your Cowboys fever out of here.
All right, fine. They'll lose for the Eagles, but they'll lose to the Lions. I think they'll split the Texans. I think they beat the Titans twice. I think they could beat the Titans, or it could be a split. Jets, that could be a toss-up. They'll beat the Raiders, and then they go play against the Colts and the Titans. So, where do I put the Jaguars? I think they'll make the postseason, but I don't know if they can win a playoff game. That's the only thing with the Jaguars. I think I'm going to probably give them the 6. I think they're probably at least destined to probably make the postseason. I think they're probably one of the few teams that I do feel like that didn't make the postseason last year that will make the postseason. And I think we're going to go with a good 10-7. So now Chris, it's up to you now.
I will defer this and give it to Doug. I want to see if you guys are in the same alignment here, and then we'll see what I do. Because based
no,
off
I'll
the
keep it pretty.
based off the Colts, we weren't on the same field
Mhm,
practice
yeah.
even. So go ahead, Doug.
I'll keep it easy. I mean, I agree with Stu. I was gonna say 10-7 and a 6.
Wow. Okay.
I think they're a solid squad. I mean, I think they should theoretically be able to at least make the playoffs.
Yeah, as long as they just don't choke at the end. They have the talent. Just don't choke at the end of the season. That was my biggest
Mhm.
gripe of last season.
Looking at you two, Dolphins.
Yeah. All right. So now, Christopher, what is your thoughts?
So I put the Colts at 10-7, them being a 6 and making the playoffs. I also mentioned that the Jaguars will miss the playoffs. Jaguars, like you guys are saying, they're still a good team. Skill set. Trevor Lawrence being a 6'6" quarterback. You always want a tall quarterback at the helm of your offense. Travis Etienne, an amazing running back. I don't know what there is, but I think there's something is missing. But they're still going to be above a 500 team. Same record as last year. I'm putting them as a 9-8, and they will be a 5, and they will just
Ooh.
miss the playoffs.
Same as last year. You do not. You think of them as the same as it ever was, as the once
Not as it
head.
ever was, but yeah.
Yeah, same as it ever was, as like the great talking head
But
once said.
they're as good once as they ever was.
Hey, I always think of the talking head, same as it ever was, once in a lifetime. Anyway, and now we got for the once in a lifetime the Texans, who actually has been a very interesting. Like we had our expectation was very low. If you remember this, Douglas, me and you, we had so much low for CJ Stroud and the Texans, and they actually hit expectations high. They actually did really well. They won the division. They made it to the postseason. They clobbered, I'm sorry to say this, your Brownies, Christopher, badly.
It's all right.
And then basically they played against the Ravens and then they lost badly. But like I said, hey, expectations was I gave them a 2. I didn't think they were going to make it far. There was one point I gave them the 1. Like I thought they were going to be bad. An 0-2 team last season and win a playoff game in the postseason, that is very rare. Probably statistically anomalies. So we'll start it off with you, Christopher. What is your thoughts about the Houston Texans and your CJ Stroud?
I'm too casual over here. I know they whipped the Brownies 45-14 last postseason. Who did they lose to, if you know, in the second round?
I think they lost to the Ravens. I don't remember the score, but it was not close.
Well, okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you're playing against Lamar Jackson, the regular season MVP, I guess it's understandable. Texans, you guys already know, as said, they will make the playoffs. So I picked out the Texans and the Colts from the AFC South to represent it in the postseason. Let's see here. What running back they have? They picked up Cam Akers. Dang. All right.
And also Stephon Diggs is going to be a Texan right now.
And Joe Mixon from the Bengals.
Yeah. So this is
running back. They have Dameon Pierce. I think he was injured for the majority of last season. But I know 2 seasons ago he was amazing. Joe Mixon, always a stellar running back. Obviously, we know who the quarterback is, CJ Stroud. Wide receiver, yeah, you guys said, yeah, Diggs. So that's a massive acquisition. They also have Tank Dell, who's in his sophomore season or his second year. Nico Collins, Michigan product. There you go, Doug. Heck yeah. They're going to be better than last year at 10-7. They're going to be, I would say, not 12-5, but they'll be 11-6.
Ooh, okay. Now this is going to be interesting. So you think the Texans are going to make the postseason? Now the question is, will they
win?
Will they win a playoff? How far do you think these Texans this year? Because the expectation's high. What do you think, Christopher?
I'm not going to say a 7 because I said the Jets are going to win a playoff game. And then I said the Dolphins are going to make it to the AFC Championship. So I don't want to cast all my votes on the winners of the first round just yet. And yeah, people are riding high on the Texans. You know, they won that massive first playoff game. CJ Stroud, he's a second year now. So yeah, a lot of people are putting the Texans on a pedestal. Like I said, 11-6, they're going to win the division. As for are they going to win a game, I'll put them at a 6, which is just making the playoffs, not winning, but you never know.
So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. And now, like I said, now it's up to you, Douglas. What is your thoughts about CJ Stroud and these Houston Texans?
Oh man, like I'm with you, Chris. I'm one of the people that are super bullish, man. Like I think they crushed the offseason. I mean I don't know. Like I'm like way up on them. Like I
Could
think
you could you
I'm a
say,
big
Douglas, are they the champions of the offseason?
I mean they're right there. They're one of the best for sure. Like they're in the top 3. I mean I love CJ Stroud. How could I not? You know, Ohio State product that lost to Michigan a couple of times.
Okay, how dare you?
That's a good quick reminder. Thanks, Doug.
Thank you for reminding me of my pain and suffering.
You know, so like he's a stud, man. Like I was on, like I don't know. He's a great. Like shoot, I wish the Lions had him. He's amazing. Um, like I think 12-5. Like I think they'll win a playoff game for sure. At like 7. Like I think it depends if they can get some home field. Like I wouldn't be shocked if they make the AFC Championship.
Ooh.
But you have so many other good teams in there though, you know. But like it's hard to go against the Chiefs or the Ravens because they're both going to be so good. But I love what they've done. So I'm like borderline 8, but I'm going to give them a 7 because I
Yes.
still think it's Chiefs Ravens to lose.
Yeah, and it's going to be my turn now in this one. The Texans, I feel like they definitely look like they're going to probably win the postseason. I think this is an easier team. That's going to probably, I think they're going to probably have an easier schedule to make it to the postseason. Now, this is a good question because I do kind of agree. I think there will be a postseason for the Texans. They got to play against the Colts the first round. I think they could probably beat the Colts twice. They could split or create it. They're going to beat the Bears. They're going to beat the Vikings. Jaguars, that could be a split. They could beat the Bills. They're going to beat the Patriots. Packers could be a split, even at Green Bay. Colts is a split. I think they can beat the Jets. Lions could be at Texans. I'm going to give that a 50-50.
That should be a good game.
It's going to be a good game. Cowboys, I think, is a 50-50 also at Dallas. I think
Texas supremacy. Let's go Houston.
Is that game on Thanksgiving, or when is that Texans versus Cowboys game?
That is the 18th. Actually, the Cowboys are playing against the Giants, which I might be or might not be at that game. Just saying. To doing sports commentary. Just saying. But then they got to play against the Titans. I think they can beat the Titans. I think they can beat the Titans twice. I think the Jaguars, they probably split it. They'll beat the Dolphins. I don't think they can beat the Chiefs. Oh, God, they got like 3 bad games. They got to play against the Chiefs, then the Ravens. And then they finally play against the Texans.
And Doug, you said the Texans at 12-5.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
I think
because you're railing off some tough opponents here, so it's gonna be hard.
I think they're probably gonna be 12-5 also, and I'm probably gonna give them the 7 also. I think they could probably win a playoff game, but can they beat the Ravens or the Chiefs? I don't think they can do it. They're in that tier below, right over there. It's gonna be interesting. We'll see how it goes, but I just feel like they're the solid 7 right there. And
Stu,
look
me
at
and you
that.
are on the same page a lot of today.
Yeah, this has actually been a very much an easy, like, same page. We haven't had any disagreements unless you're crazy cult take, Chris.
I mean, yeah, we've definitely had some disagreements. I mean, this has not been a flush card amongst the 3 of us.
Me and Stu have been in line. I think it's been me and Stu though, like almost the same ratings for all of the AFC South.
Yeah, it is crazy.
I can't wait to go during the season. We better have these picks saved.
Oh, don't worry.
At the end of the season, we got to see where we're at.
Yeah, don't worry. I will have it saved. I have it in an Excel spreadsheet, and I will have it all saved to the beginning, to the end. And then, like I said, we're going to do Like I said, once we get to close to the end of the season, we're going to do a post-mortem where we get to basically rank everybody. What's your thoughts on their season overall? But anyway, I digress. Next week is going to be interesting because we're almost done with the preseason picks. We're going to talk about the AFC North and AFC West. We're going to next talk about, interestingly, the Cincinnati Bengals. Then we're going to talk about them Steelers. Then some team that Chris likes, the Cleveland Brownies.
I don't like them too. I love
Yes. Yeah.
them.
Yes. You will help. You will do
That's a
anything
nice
to help.
flag over here.
Yes. You will do anything to help Deshaun Watson. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, let's not go that far. Let's digress.
Then we'll talk about the Ravens. And then finally, we got the three clunkers and the Super Bowl champions. Then we got the Broncos, the Chargers, the Raiders, and finally, the Super Bowl champion. We'll end it with the last team, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Nice.
So, gentlemen, do you have any thoughts before we hang this up?
Go Colts. Make it to the playoffs.
Boo! Terrible take. Your take is terrible.
CJ
Well, hey,
Stroud for president.
we'll say it's terrible when they actually don't make the playoffs, but if they do, then your guys' take will be terrible.
Don't you mean Aaron
Ooh.
Rodgers for vice president? I'm just saying.
Exactly, dude. He can be. CJ's not old enough yet, is he?
No, Rodgers can do it. Rodgers can do it technically.
Oh, there we
You
go,
gotta
man.
be
Rodgers
35.
could just be
Vice
starting up
President
his
Rodgers.
career.
Let's do.
Here we go.
Here we go. But anyway, that is pretty much it, everybody. Because, like I said, I'm gonna sorry. I will catch you later, Mr. Gators, and take care. See ya.